Okay, this is gonna be a new test. This is gonna be the new test for the Weebthusiast thing. New test. Hi. So yeah, I know it's been a while since I posted on this channel. I've still been posting videos, but on the other YouTube channel for Sorryasianparents, still doing that podcast and rave stuff. So I figure it's about time I give this one a little more attention. And what better time than now, because tomorrow, I guess depending on when this video comes out, I will be going to Anime Expo for the first time. Took about 33 years, but I'm finally gonna make my way to Anime Expo. I'm super excited. Never been before. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but you know, obviously I have to see it for myself. Compared to some of the other festivals, oops, I don't know if I said convention or festival. So I'm probably just gonna put this in here now, just in case I did say festival instead of convention. Well, obviously I've been doing a lot of convention videos, so my mind's a little mixed up. But compared to the other conventions I've been to, I hear that Anime Expo is the biggest in California. So far, Fanime is the biggest convention or anime convention I've been to so far. I know Anime Los Angeles is also pretty big. So is Crunchyroll Expo. But compared to the size, I think Fanime was probably bigger. And I think Fanime just had more people in general. I've been to 3 Fanimes, 2 Crunchyrolls, and 2 Anime Los Angeles. So far, I think that Fanime might be my favorite one because of how ratchet it gets. You know me, I just like all the ratchet goodness. So I know Crunchyroll Expo shares the same San Jose convention center as Fanime, but you know, Crunchyroll Expo, I think it's a bit geared more towards kids and people in the industry. I've seen some cool stuff at Crunchyroll Expo. Because their industry pool, I've been able to see previews for like stuff like Mob Psycho or the Shinji Ito Uzumaki stuff, which was really creepy. I'm not really into horror anime or manga, but he was there. I know who he is because I've been scared by his art. It's the spiral horror anime stuff, which, believe me when I say it's not that Naruto shit, even though there is a spiral in it. Yeah, Crunchyroll, Crunchyroll was fun. But if I'm talking about like San Jose, it would definitely be Fanime. Fanime would definitely be my favorite. So Anime Los Angeles is probably my second favorite of all the conventions I've been to for anime, which it takes place, well, the first year I went was in 2020, right before the dreaded shutdown. I went there and it was in Ontario, in between Los Angeles and San Bernardino, on the way to San Bernardino. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the map for that one. But yeah, I mean, it was big then, and then they just moved it to Long Beach, which I just actually went to in the beginning of the year. It was at the beginning of the year, man. Because of the whole shutdown, my measurement of time has been kind of like loopy. But yeah, it was in Long Beach, the Long Beach Convention Center downtown, which was nice. I had a good time, met some really cool people, and then I guess next will be Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is still a good time, but the first year was actually really fun. First year, I think it was like kind of more of a con for the fans. Not saying it's not a con for the fans right now, but they had a lot of cool things that I would usually see at cons. First year, I saw Mother's Basement, who was there, and I also saw the guys from GRX or TRX. I'm gonna have to put the name later on in edits, but they're the guys who did the Hood Naruto or Hood Avatar. which was a great panel. The panel did not go as the way it was described on the booklet or on the program. But it made it more fun, you know, which is a bunch of guys just shooting the shit who were into anime, and then it felt organic, and it was something that I was really into. The next year, though, they didn't really have that sort of stuff. And next year, or at least maybe I missed some stuff. I mean, I'm not really sure. You know, of course, you know, they still had the sales floor and the panels, but the panels were more geared towards industry stuff, or just like learning about how to get in the industry, or just more about more creators within the industry, which isn't bad. I mean, I learned a lot about how licensing or how certain things work within the anime world in America. So I mean, it was good. You know, and me ranking these three doesn't mean that one was far superior or anything. It's just more towards what I enjoyed or what I didn't enjoy for these cons. They were all still a good time. I made some new friends and did nerdy stuff with my old friends. So it's like none of these were really a bad time. Of course, I never been to SAC Anime, which I heard was not the best one. From judging for all the memes I've seen from SAC Anime, it looked like it was the one people chose to not go. I'm obviously gonna have to look up the dates because I'm not really sure, because I've never been to SAC Anime. My first experience with cons actually was not an anime one. The first anime con I went to was in 2011 or 12, but that was my first anime con. My actual real first experience with cons was actually Comic-Con in San Diego. I went to 4 Comic-Cons. I went in 2004, 5, 6, and 7. Actually, I could get the dates wrong, but I don't know. I'm 33. I'm old. This is where I'm talking about time that wasn't documented on Facebook, and which was lost when I lost my MySpace password. So you're gonna have to excuse me for these dates. But yeah, I went to 4 Comic-Cons back before the whole Marvel thing exploded. But I went there, I think, starting in middle school, and then the last one I went to was in 2007. The reason why I remember why it was in 2007 was because I was 18 at the time, and I was trying to convince my friends and I to go to TJ, which we actually did go to TJ. But that's a different story for a different time. Comic-Con San Diego was my first real experience with a con. You know, this is back before Disney got involved, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe wasn't there yet. So it was just a bunch of nerds just being nerds, and it was a good time. And then it got too packed, and it got too busy, and it got too expensive. I remember a 4-day pass to Comic-Con was about I don't know, about 90, or no, I think the first time I ever went, a 4-day pass was $60, which then turned into like 100. Eventually it was like 150, and then after that I did not go to any more Comic-Cons. Obviously I'm more of an anime fan than I am a comic fan, but I just like being in that environment, you know, that nerdy environment filled with a bunch of geeks who want to cosplay and just wanted to do like that not normal stuff. You know, I grew up in Visalia, California, which was basically I guess the Midwest of California, which if you've been there, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And meth. We also have a bunch of meth too, and teen pregnancy, and a bunch of Bible belts. But anyways, how I ended up at Comic-Con in the first place was through my friend Noble. I went with Noble, his brother John, and Big Will. These guys introduced me to a world of cons, and they took me at a time in my life where I just didn't know my place yet or what I was interested in. So I was still kind of searching for my thing. And when I went to Comic-Con, that's when I realized this is where I wanted to be. It helped me realize how nerdy I really am. And that was great because it gave me something to look forward to that wasn't just me trying to survive the heat in Visalia or I guess maybe sports or bowling and all that stuff, which is great, you know, because compared to how it is today, nerd culture wasn't as cool. You either did sports or you did some other ratchet stuff. And I think when I was able to go to Comic-Con, I was able to flaunt my knowledge of anime or video games, or not get bullied for playing card games. Going to Comic Con made me realize that there is a world out there for a bunch of nerds, and you just didn't have to hide who you are as nerds. So why do I keep going to cons? Well, I'm 33 now, which be viewed as too old for going to comic or anime conventions. It sucks because it took me a long time to get back into going cons. But eventually I found my way back to it, and I'm glad, and it was great. It's a place where I can find other like-minded individuals with the same interests and hobbies. Of course, I can go to Little Tokyo or join a I was about to say AIM chat room, but we don't have those anymore. Or join a Discord where I can talk to people about anime, or God willing, enter the comment section of Crunchyroll or YouTube, which there's a lot of trolls out there if you didn't know about it. Going to these conventions was great because I get to be around these people who have the same shared common interests. People who aren't afraid to be nerdy or wear costumes, or people who played DDR non-ironically, and just stuff like that. Yeah, I just love being in that environment. It's going to the merchant floor, or seeing these young artists coming about. They're people just trying to make a name for themselves, or seeing a sneak peek of a new anime episode that's coming out the next season, or just even discovering new anime. I think in Fanime was where I discovered Evangelion, and since then it really kind of just changed my life because Evangelion was badass and I'd never seen it before. So being at that environment and having my friend force me to go watch 4 hours of Evangelion, which is the first and second rebuild movie, it was great. I guess it kind of changed my life, and I love it. Of course, there are some things where I do find kind of cringy or bad at cons. Like, it's true, there is an odor. Every time I go to a convention, I always bring a stick of deodorant because I too will sweat like crazy. There was actually a cosplay that I had to throw out because I sweated so much the white part of the costume was yellow. So we do sweat, and it does smell like nerd. It sucks. It just smells like armpit. If you are going to con, you should definitely wear deodorant because I know I'm putting it multiple times. The odor aside, I don't know. I don't really know if there's a lot of things I dislike about cons besides the rising hotel price. I think the hotel price could kind of come down, which would be a little bit better. Aside from the whole convention itself and just being in that atmosphere, one of the things I do like about anime conventions is that there's always like a happy hardcore rave at the end of it. I love electronic music, does no lie, especially on Sorryasianparents.com, a lot of music festival reviews. But there is that dance component at the end of these cons, which is great because it's rare. I don't really get to hear happy hardcore anymore, and it's nice to see these J-pop theme remixes, and just seeing a bunch of people in cosplay just dancing and having a good time. I think I still think Fanime has the best dance, or best post-con dance, though the Cosplay Deviants Anime Los Angeles one is still fun. Actually, I think they're gonna have a dance this year too at Anime Expo. Probably gonna go with that. Aside from this being my first Anime Expo, this will be the first time I'm taking my sibling to the con. Normally I would go with some friends and we would be there doing our, I guess, adult anime stuff. This time I'm gonna be chaperoning little kids. Oh well, whatever. So I'm gonna be chaperoning little kids, and I'm excited to bring my little brother to this world of otakus and nerds. I know he's a huge gamer, and he does like to read manga and watch anime. So it's gonna be nice to be able to take him to a world outside of Acelia, where he can really enjoy himself. I think that's really important that kids know that there is a bigger world out there than just high school or that fucking hot desert heat of the Central Valley, or cows. There's a world outside of cows. So I'm excited to bring him there. It's gonna be a good time. You know, I just hopefully he also enjoys it as much as I am. Maybe he will start cosplaying. I mean, I don't know. It's I guess anything can happen when you're just 14 years old. It's so I'm excited. I'm excited to show the next generation of nerds in America that once you leave the Central Valley, you can find other nerds to be nerds with. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much my spiel for all of it. And, you know, cons are great, cons are fun, great place to be yourself, to express your nerdiness. I don't know what else I can say. It does cost money though, so save up. Especially when you get there, you're gonna want to buy anything and everything, especially the cool T-shirts. You know, if you've never been to one or think about going to a con, I highly suggest it. You know, you go there, let your freak flag fly. It's gonna be a good time. And if you enjoyed my rambling about cons on this channel or just me talking about random shit in general, please give this video a thumbs up and like and subscribe. You know, all the other YouTube stuff. BS. Well, anyways, have a good one. See ya.